Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have seen this video about immigration and ICE, and they were talking about Indiana is beefing up the rounding up of the criminals, of Mexicans that are across the border and here illegally. I kind of I don't see that right now. Because the town I'm from, I see a lot of them here, and I see a lot of migrants opening up restaurants, Mexican restaurants that are here, and they're only hiring their own. They're not hiring whites, blacks, any other cultures. They're hiring their own because I see them as they're bringing in illegals. I know they are because I've seen it. And the cops have been told this, and they said it's not that bad to do anything about it. I think that's appalling. Any officer that says that should be fired immediately, and if that's what the chief of police or the sheriff of that town is saying, they should be fired immediately, because breaking the law is breaking the law. Even the video even states that they're rounding up illegals that have crossed the border, and that is breaking the law. The bad thing is, in this town, people have big hearts, but they're not thinking about the crime that they're committing. They come over here legally, there's not a problem. I have no problem with that. But when you have the city government allowing them to come here and knowing that they're here and doing nothing about it, they're taking jobs away from basically people that live here legally. Right now, to get a job in this town, if you're white, is slim to none. You're gonna have to find a family-owned business, which is another bad thing. There's probably at least 8, 9 more, I don't know, businesses that are run with Mexicans with your tax dollars, and you go try to open a business. Can't do it, but they're going to use your tax dollars, and they don't even got to pay taxes on nothing. I mean, they got an upper hand on all of you, and that's what's terrible right now. I've heard so many people say, well, I've applied for so many jobs and nobody's hiring. I'm like, yeah, but they want to imply that, these businesses are all like, yeah, we're hiring like crazy, but nobody wants to work. There's a huge lie being told there. There's a lot of people trying to get jobs, but they're not being hired because they're white or if they're black. I mean, you go to a restaurant here in the town I live in, which is Wabash, Indiana, and you won't get a job at these Mexican restaurants because they're only hiring their own. That's a crime right there. You want that in your town? I mean, I know you guys are all big hearts and everything, but that's wrong. And when you have a church that is harboring illegals at motels, and they've been doing that for several years. How do I know that? Is because the owner told us this, is that there's a church in town that pays the rent. And the cops probably know about it and everything, and it's being kept from the public. That's another horrendous crime in this town. I know it's a touchy subject about that because people don't want to be called racist. And what I've found out is white people will be called racist all day long, and they're actually the people that aren't being. They're not pointing at nobody about being racist because they're the ones being accused of it. I'm not racist. I'm all for everybody. I love everybody, but if they're gonna sit there and turn the tables and say you're racist because you do this and that, you're just spilling evil, division. They talk about Charlie Kirk. I'm like, what evil is that guy spilling? He's just common sense, Christian man, white guy. Oh, there it is. White guy. So they all attack. Special privileges and all that. I didn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk was fighting for, but most of the stuff he was right on point. But it's a horrendous thing in our country right now. In this video I saw, it was talking about how Indiana is really spilling it up. Well, in my town right now, I don't see anything right now. And the state police are supposed to be working with ISIS. until I see that, I'm going to keep spilling it that they're just overlooking it and they're doing nothing but hurting the legal people that are living here in America, because these illegals are getting the jobs because of wokeness, which is crap. So let's check out this video and then you tell me. But until I see it myself, no. I mean, they even, before I show you the video, the city government of this town actually brought in illegals from Texas to build a coffee shop, which is a square building, basic, any contractor can do it. And I even asked the mayor, I said, why didn't you just hire a contractor in this town? There's a whole bunch of them. Well, these people specialize, and we wanted to get it up right away, which is blah, blah, blah bullshit. So when you have the city government and the cops all not doing their jobs, this is why it's so bad. And I don't mean to be beating up on anybody, but the truth is the truth. I'm not going to sit here and spill it out any other way. I'm not being racist. I'm just being truthful. So, and if I'm wrong, prove me wrong, because I'm not. I know, because I see it with my own eyes. So let's watch this video.
Federal immigration authorities are arresting and deporting a growing number of illegal immigrants in Indiana. This comes as the Trump administration cracks down on illegal border crossings.
Roughly 1,400 illegal immigrants in Indiana have either been arrested or deported since President Trump took office in January of this year. That number represents an 80% increase compared to the same time last year.
Indiana, a state known for its farmlands, its hardworking families, and its small-town values. But beneath the quiet, there's a growing storm. A storm fueled by illegal immigration, violent crime, and the question of who truly keeps our communities safe. Federal agents, backed by local police, are now taking action. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE, is stepping into the spotlight, arresting and deporting individuals who broke America's laws by crossing the border illegally and, in some cases, committing dangerous crimes once here. Tonight, we'll uncover why Indiana has become a new front line in this national fight, how ICE and state police are working hand in hand, and why these efforts are being called essential to protecting American lives. By the end of this video, you'll see how Indiana's crackdown could become the model for the rest of the country. Before we begin, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Here, we bring you the stories that mainstream outlets often ignore. Stories that show how law enforcement is stepping up to keep America secure. Since President Trump took office, Indiana has witnessed a remarkable surge in immigration enforcement. More than 1,400 illegal immigrants have been arrested or deported in just the first months of the year. That represents an 80% increase compared to the same period last year. This is not random. It's the result of a direct order from Washington. Enforce immigration law everywhere, not just at the border. And ICE has answered that call. The message is clear. No longer can states far from Texas or Arizona assume they are safe havens. Indiana has become proof that ICE is not only targeting the border, but also the heartland. By working inside communities, ICE ensures that individuals living unlawfully in the country face consequences, regardless of where they settle. Supporters say this surge in deportations is not about numbers, it's about safety. When people break the law, whether by crossing the border illegally or by committing additional crimes, ICE's mission is to hold them accountable. And in Indiana, they're doing exactly that. But how is ICE pulling off such a large-scale operation in a state hundreds of miles from the southern border? The answer lies in powerful partnerships with local law enforcement. One of the biggest reasons ICE's mission is succeeding in Indiana is the 287G program. This federal initiative allows state and local officers to act with the authority of federal immigration agents. What does that mean for Indiana? It means local police are no longer just patrolling neighborhoods or investigating car thefts. They are now actively identifying, flagging, and holding individuals who are in the country illegally. The Indiana State Police has already confirmed that they are preparing to sign on with ICE through 287G. Once finalized, troopers will have the training and legal authority to help enforce federal immigration law directly. Sheriffs are also stepping up. In Vigo County, for example, jail officials report suspected undocumented immigrants to ICE as soon as they enter the system. If detainees face local charges, they are held until trial, but federal authorities are immediately notified. When those charges are resolved, ICE takes custody, ensuring no one slips through the cracks. For ICE, these partnerships are critical. For Indiana communities, they mean stronger coordination, fewer loopholes, and a united law enforcement front. Critics may complain about blurred lines between local and federal duties, but for families who want safer neighborhoods, this cooperation is exactly what they've been asking for. And nowhere is this cooperation more visible than in a surprising new location, an old military base that's now housing detainees. When people think of detention centers, they usually think of Texas or Arizona. But in Indiana, Camp Atterbury, a military training base, has been repurposed into a secure facility for immigration detainees. For ICE, this move is practical and necessary. Instead of transporting detainees hundreds of miles away, Indiana now has a local hub where arrests can be processed and individuals can be held safely until their cases move forward. Camp Atterbury represents a bold step forward in enforcement strategy. It expands ICE's capacity and ensures that the Midwest is no longer dependent on faraway facilities. Indiana residents can be confident that those who break immigration laws will be securely detained close to where they are arrested. Of course, critics argue that using a military site sends the wrong message. But for supporters, the message is exactly right. America is serious about enforcing its immigration laws. Detention is not meant to be comfortable. It is meant to ensure accountability and security. And if anyone doubts why these facilities are needed, just look at the kind of cases turning up in Indiana jails. One name stands out in Indiana's recent immigration debate: Wilson Chavez. Chavez, an illegal immigrant, is accused of committing murder at a Candlewood Suites hotel. His case is a chilling reminder of why ICE says enforcement is essential. When individuals cross the border illegally and then go on to commit violent crimes, the consequences ripple through communities. Families are devastated, law enforcement is stretched thin, and trust in public safety takes a hit. For ICE and local sheriffs, cases like Chavez prove the importance of strict enforcement. While not every illegal immigrant commits violent crimes, those who do can cause irreversible harm. And without ICE's intervention, many would remain hidden in communities, free to offend again. This is why programs like 287G matter. They ensure that dangerous individuals are identified, detained, and removed before they can inflict more harm. Indiana families deserve peace of mind, and ICE is working to deliver exactly that. But beyond individual cases, Indiana's crackdown speaks to a much larger trend, one that could reshape how America enforces immigration nationwide. Indiana may not share a border with Mexico, but it's fast becoming a testing ground for national immigration policy. If ICE can achieve this level of enforcement success in the Midwest, it shows the strategy can work anywhere in the country. The Trump administration's approach is clear. Immigration enforcement is not just a border issue, it's an American issue. By pushing enforcement into the heartland, the government is sending a message that laws apply everywhere. For supporters, Indiana's role is inspiring. It demonstrates that with strong partnerships, proper facilities, and clear priorities, states can play a powerful part in upholding federal immigration law. Local police gain new tools, federal agencies gain local intelligence, and communities gain greater safety. Opponents may resist, but the direction is undeniable. Indiana is showing how the rest of the country can reclaim control of its immigration system. The question now is, will other states follow Indiana's lead, or will they choose to resist federal cooperation? What's happening in Indiana matters far beyond its borders. If the state's model is replicated, it could mark a turning point in America's immigration enforcement strategy. Here's what's at stake: public safety, removing dangerous criminals before they reoffend; law and order, ensuring that immigration law is respected just like any other law; community trust, giving families confidence that law enforcement is actively protecting them; national security, preventing illegal crossings from leading to unchecked residency in the interior of the country. For ICE, Indiana is proof that the system can work when everyone plays their part. For the American people, it's a reassurance that the law is not optional and that government is committed to upholding it. And as enforcement expands, one thing becomes clear: Indiana's story is just the beginning. Indiana has become a symbol of what happens when federal and local law enforcement come together with a common mission: protect American communities. From the surge in deportations, to the partnership under 287G, to the use of Camp Atterbury as a detention center, ICE is showing that it can and will enforce the law, no matter how far from the border. For supporters, this is a victory. It means safer streets, stronger accountability, and a reminder that America values both its sovereignty and its citizens. If you believe in law, order, and the safety of American communities, then Indiana's example should give you hope. Because what's happening here is not just about one state, it's about setting the course for the entire nation. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
287G, it's a law. If your city government is not following that law, they are the criminals. And they need to be outed. If your local police aren't doing their jobs according to this law, they are committing crimes. If the state police in your area is not doing it, they're breaking laws. This is for us. We have to take care of our own first, and then we can help other people. It's such a mess right now. All my friends that I know can't even get jobs because they're white. It's ridiculous. They're here illegally. So that's what 287G is for, is to help us. So if your city government knows that there's illegals here and what they're doing, which they already admitted, the local police already admitted too, then they're breaking laws. What are we talking about then? You're either breaking the laws or you're not. And you're breaking laws because you admitted to it. And by that standard alone tells me and other people that are watching, and everybody is watching, to see what they're doing. And right now they're doing absolutely nothing. They're just going along with the program that they've been taught to do, I guess. The wokeism, whatever. But we are all watching you. And you either do it right or get the hell out. That's how I feel about it. And they also need to go after the church that is involved in harboring these illegals. And remember, I'm not just meaning Mexicans. I'm meaning all illegals. Okay, I'm not picking on one race. I don't want you to say I'm racist. But that seems to be the large amount of crime that is going on in our town, amongst other things. But if they're not doing their job, they need to step down and get the hell out of the way so we can make a better and safer environment for all of us. And we can go get jobs that we're trying to go after rather than us being pushed aside and them take over. Because that's what's going on if you continue down the road you're going. So subscribe, and hey, love you guys, and keep your eyes open because they're pulling crap. Hey, one more thing. The Constitution. My big beef is your local police don't know the Constitution. They either learn that Constitution and apply it, or you need to step down also, because the Constitution sticks up for us. Corporate laws always are jumping on top of our constitutional rights, and the court system being jammed up, and it's so expensive to go to court that they're trying to jam it up that way. You're innocent till proven guilty, but why would you have to pay so much money to go to court to fight for your rights? Yeah, it's cricket. So the Constitution is very important. So when you guys sit there and talk about, oh, don't pick on them, don't pick, you know what? The Constitution, if the Constitution is followed, everybody's rights are being upheld. And that's what we all want. So, hey, see you.